When preparing for negotiation meetings, responsible negotiators need to remember to be process facilitators. Of course, they will need to contribute to problem solving and good relationships among the protagonists, but process comes first. It is essential to zoom out, catch not only the big picture, the strategy, but also the negotiation campaign with its operations. It is equally essential to zoom in, sequencing responsible actions and tactics in meetings.
Let me start with zooming out. First, we need to remember that complex negotiations often take a series of external meetings, thus the term negotiation campaign, and as many internal preparation meetings, but also as many internal debriefings for the external meetings. Negotiators may borrow here the mastery of project or program management, which addresses how to get things done over time with the different steps. To put it in a nutshell, we suggest to always keep in mind 7 Ps, to establish them for the negotiation campaign in general, but also to adjust them more specifically for each meeting. What are these 7 Ps? 1, purpose. What are the objectives we are trying to accomplish? Maybe getting a deal or aligning internally before the meeting with the counterpart. 2, process moves. What are the methods which will help us accomplish our set objectives? For example, how do we build a winning coalition before meeting the other side? How do we sequence the entry in the coalition? How do we keep it together when we meet?
3, principles. What are some of the guidelines we need to put into place to increase the chance of success? Confidentiality, starting on time, regular reviews, etc. 4, products. What are the deliverables we expect at the end of this period or this meeting? A diagnostic, a set of options, a mandate, an MOU, a contract. The question here is, what are the indicators of success? 5, people's roles. What specific role can we assign to such or such person? Experts, moderators, chairperson, bad cop, timekeeper, reporter?
6, planning. How much time do we need for such or such phase? What are the deadlines? Do we need a buffer? 7, place. Where do we meet? At the office? On Teams? By Zoom? By phone? At a restaurant? How should we manage the space? These 7 Ps will help you structure complex negotiations. They are the 7 questions you need to ask yourself from the beginning to the end.
Let me now zoom in to a meeting. We have prepared it properly using the People, Process, Problems framework, and we have also clarified the 7 Ps for this meeting. We need now to visualize how we start, continue, and close. You are like the director of a TV series, and you need to imagine what will happen in the 45 minutes episode. Of course, the 7 Ps will vary, but the structure will remain the same with 3 parts. 1, the opening game. At the beginning of every meeting, you will need to focus on 2 moves. People first. Welcome them. Make them feel comfortable. Motivate them to work together. Maybe bring some tea or coffee. It's all about connection with whom we are negotiating. Process is second. After the schmoozing part above, you need to make sure that everyone is clear about some of the 7 Ps we talked about. Purpose, roles, rules. It is all about how we negotiate together, the meta work, the organization of the meeting or meetings.
Now we are ready for the main part of a meeting, the middle game, what we need to negotiate. 2, the middle game. It's the body of the meeting about problem solving. Depending on how complex the problems are, what follows may require several sessions with progressive solutions. First, information. Can we identify what the problems are? What do we know about them? Do we need some time to do a diagnostic, to gather data, to not only determine what the problems are, but in which order to solve them? The more important and urgent ones first, then others, etc. Second, invention of solutions. Can we brainstorm about solutions? Imagine negotiated solutions, but also alternatives. Third, evaluation of solutions. Can we provide an analysis of the solutions? Which ones are the best that could be your first anchor? What are unacceptable ones to determine our red lines? What are the criteria to rank them and exclude some? Fourth, decision. Negotiation is part of a decision-making process. Can we summarize where we are, what we agreed upon, and what we still need to work on? Are we ready to say yes? Are we in internal agreement? Do we have a mandate? Did we achieve an agreement with a counterpart? Do we have a deal?
3. The end game. Make sure you turn back to the 2 moves of the beginning, but here you reverse them. Processes first. After having summarized what was agreed upon or what needs to be worked on, turn to implementation and the next steps. Who does what for when? Then turn to people before concluding. This is a time for appreciation, to thank people, celebrate. The key here is to finish any meeting on a good note.
In some ways, look at a complex process as if it was an opera, with many singers, with voices of various tones, 2 or 3 acts, arias, chorus, duets, etc. Negotiation is about composition, with people, problems, and process. And whether you negotiate from within, like the first violin in the orchestra, or are observing and coordinating, like the conductor, the more you compose with motivation and joy from the beginning to the end, even if there is some drama on the way sometimes, the more you will enjoy it.